Hi everybody, Engineer here with a little robot affectionately known as Letters.
That's me.
Would you please introduce yourself to everybody so we can know what your real name actually is?
Absolutely. Well, smiley day there. Hi, I'm First Trick Russ.
Do you think maybe we could take a look inside you today too and see what makes you tick, move, talk, etc., all that stuff?
Oh, I get this a lot. It's all right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome anytime.
Okay, let's crack them open and see what's inside. Did your eyes just turn red by any chance?
Of course not. No.
Okay, well, let's get on to the video then.
Bye.
Hi everybody. This is the part of the video where I'm going to do my best to try to show you how FCG works, how it's put together. I'm still not very good at making videos, I don't think, because I'm not used to this, so please bear with me. So, first thing is, I guess, the outside. He is just 3D printed for the most part from the ground up. So that's an actual wheelbarrow wheel down there that I've incorporated into this. But everything else, this wheel assembly piece here was 3D printed, clamshelled, stuck together. I need to fix that a bit. It's actually starting to crack where it was fused together because I just didn't fuse it well enough, I suppose. That's another problem for another time. The shell of his torso is 3D printed. The arm, 3D printed. One of his arms is off. So, it's like here. 3D printed. The joints are just wooden dowels holding his fingers together. There are bolts that lock the arm in its current positions and then can loosen it so that I can actually, say, pose his arms in different ways. They don't move on their own. There's no motors or anything in those. It's just manual posing. The front sections, they do come off. So, like, these bits pop off. The side pops off to get access to the inside, which we'll get to soon. There are magnets holding that on, so I can just put that there, let it go. Pops into place. Nice and easy. Right down the center is a PVC pipe. That's his spine, neck, etc. It goes the full length down to the wheel assembly. His face is EVA foam to try to keep that nice and light for the servo motors that are inside the head. Up here for the hair is what is it? The kind of foam that you would use when you're just trying to keep, say, blankets and stuff on your couch. So, like, you just kind of shove it between the cushions to keep things in place. That's what this here is. It's foam wrapped with really thin 1mm EVA foam and then painted up. This here is actually something from a dollar store that's just wire core material, basically, that I've just wrapped around and painted it to make it look like it's some sort of wire that's supposed to be there. This hair does actually come off. Let me adjust the camera if I can for that. Get his head down a bit. So this does come off and just stiffened. Again, magnets that attach to magnets inside here that holds his hair on. So that's pretty simple for that. Let me just adjust the camera here and we can look inside his face. Okay, so his head is two parts, basically. There is a 3D printed cylinder, 3D printed lens effectively here on both sides, different sizes. The outer shell and his jaw, those are EVA foamed. The back shell is EVA foam. The support that the entire head sits on, that you'll see in a second, that's the 3D printed part. It's all kind of fused together. So what I can do here is pop his face off this way. And what's holding them together here is magnets in a couple places there and there. There's also magnets up here that you can sort of see. There's a magnet and Velcro. Discovered one time when it was just magnets, and I tried to move the head around. The servos lagged a little bit and suddenly reacted and threw his entire faceplate off. A little bit traumatizing. Let me just grab the camera here and I can show you what it looks like inside of his head. Okay, so there's the inside of his head. There's the two servo motors that control his up and down and side to side motions. That's on a swivel mount. The wires that come up through the tube also then go into the back of his eyes, and those are hooked up to, oh geez, sorry, that was bad. Hooked up to, there we go, LED strips in the back of his eyes. And other than in direct sunlight, they're really bright. I might consider shifting them a little bit further forward so that you can actually see in direct sunlight possibly, but I may or may not actually change that. So again, servo motors with the mounts to make his head move. I think next we can go down to the chest. Okay, so now, no pun intended, but we're going to get to the heart of him. So we can pop this place off. And in here, we have really the guts. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to take the phone off for this one. Here we go. Okay. So, there's a lot going on in here. To make the servos move, there's an Arduino in here, which is right back there. With all the wires, they go up into the back along a stem here, or that PVC pipe that you see there. There's a hole in the back that allows all the wires to pass up to his head. This is powered mostly by a battery pack right in the back there, which lasts surprisingly long. That powers both the eyes now and the servo motors. There's just a little 9-volt battery that powers the Arduino. And then over here, I just soldered up a little circuit board for the wiring for his eyes so that we can have it as blue or red, depending. I'll show you the controls in a second too. I haven't gotten to that. They're attached to a stem that comes out of his back. So in there, that is a soundboard. When I discovered this thing, I was very happy with this. This is what makes him talk. There is 9 different inputs on this, and you can have different kinds of inputs, like say a motion sensor if you wanted to. But in this case, it's all just switch driven, and there's 9 different switches on the handle that make all the different sounds. I know there's different settings and ways that you can have the sounds do playback, but I just keep this one simple. They are hooked up to a speaker that is this big boy here. The first speaker that I tried to use was much too small. I thought it was loud in a confined room. It was. When I actually went to the first convention with this, it was not nearly loud enough for people to hear. Now I can get this up to 105 decibels. People are going to hear it. The soundboard itself is powered by a 12-volt battery pack there that just uses 8 AA batteries. And all the different sounds that go on this thing as well are just regular MP3s that are spliced together by Alfie. She did all of this work, getting all the sounds from the shows, splicing them together, or just like making them louder. Everything that she was doing to make this work for the sound files and stuff like that was great. So this very much a joint effort to get this doing what it does. I'll come down here to the bottom too, since we're here. This here, the wheel assembly that is actually starting to crack a little bit on the back that I needed to fix was actually a clamshell. There's 8 different parts, so 4 per side, that were glued together, welded-ish together with a soldering iron, but I didn't weld them quite as well as I should have, and I need to redo that. So I might make a video of me trying to fix that, because you should be using the chisel tip when you really want something welded together, and jamming the chisel tip between the two parts for a deep fusion. And then I use a 3D pen to fill in the hole or the gap, whatever, that is created, so that it doesn't have a huge divot or trough going down the entire length of it. And again, that there is a wheelbarrow wheel, and there's just a metal rod that goes across the whole way that's bolted into place for an axle. Inside this clamshell, though, by the way, there is metal rod as well. So right down here, over here, and across this way, there is metal rod, and then, like I said, the metal rod axle that goes across that way to try to give it some sort of strength, because if I didn't, this thing would have just collapsed by now. Okay, so now on to the handle and stuff. Okay, the part that makes this work is the handle here. It's actually a fairly large stem of square aluminum with some holes in it. Luckily, I mentor for some British robotics kids at a high school, so this was some of the leftover material, so I was able to use that. These are just 3D printed joints that I clamped down to keep it good and stiff. I might replace this with plates that get bolted on instead of this, which could break or possibly loosen. Speaking of breaking, first time we took this to a convention, this handle here, which is just 3D printed, broke at this point, and FCG'd a faceplant and broke in ways he really shouldn't have. I use super glue and stuff like that as a really quick fix to put it back together. I don't want that to happen again. So what I ended up doing was have a couple different sturdy handles to hold that together. There's this one here where I'm usually holding on to make sure it doesn't tip or anything. The handle here with all the buttons and stuff is mostly just something to hold on to while I push the buttons. I will not support the entire weight of FCG on that anymore, because bad things happen. So what the buttons do, let's see here. So this is the handle. That is basically a sandwich with little buttons in it, and very simple Arduino type buttons that are kind of jammed up inside there and clamped in, so that when you push one of these buttons here, you might hear the click. That activates the voice. We're going to be changing some of the sounds right now, but currently what he can say is like a yes, a no, say smiley day, introduce himself, you're welcome, bye. This one I use a lot when people want to take a picture. He'll say, oh, I get this all the time, that's all right. There's the that's me button. This one here that we're going to be swapping out because it hasn't really been needed, and I really hope it doesn't, is if somebody were to bump into him and he says, I was in your way, sorry, I apologize, or something to that effect. So and all those sounds, again, are on the soundboard, and they're controlled by these buttons. This joystick is what controls the head, so side to side, forward, or looks down, looks up. Those what those controls are. And this button here is just a single pull, double throw switch, where if it's not being pressed, his eyes are blue. If it's being pressed, eyes are red, which makes it really nice if I want to have a flicker effect where his eyes are red and he's going back to normal, or the other way around. I can just tap that quickly and it'll switch back and forth between the two. I think that should be about it. As usual, if there's any questions, if there's something I didn't cover, then by all means, please ask. I could do a follow-up video or something for anything that I've missed, because I'm sure I have. Thank you. Bye for now.